Good morning. I'm here for the thought for the day, and I want to first of all thank so many people yesterday for reaching out and saying so many positive things about me trying to do the thought for the day. Your encouragement means so much to me. Big shout out to my youngest sister Anna, who has been so supportive ever since I've started this whole journey. And she means so much to me. Her support means so much to me. So that brings me to what the thought of the day is for today. Something, I posted a meme that I created the other day about how God accepts you when you're scattered and you're battered. And I got a lot of positive response to that. And it's something that's very dear to my heart. So I just wanted to throw this out there really quick. You know, God doesn't pick people who are perfect to reach out to others, because who wants to listen to somebody that's perfect, you know? No, I'm not saying that God doesn't use people, but the truth is no one of us is perfect. And there are so many scriptures in the Bible that clearly point that out, but that's not my point. The point for today is that He does take people sometimes at their worst moment and can use them for good and can use them to be a blessing for someone else. And anyone who tells you differently, well, I'm not going to say who they're from, but I'm going to tell you who they're not from. I want to read you something that I read this morning that, well, it's almost a little comical, but it's also extremely true, and I hope that this will give you some hope. If you ever feel like God couldn't possibly use you, remember this. Noah was a drunk. Abraham was too old. Isaac was a daydreamer. Jacob was a liar. Leah was ugly. Joseph was abused. Moses had a stuttering problem. He couldn't speak, and he led the people out of Egypt. Gideon was afraid. Samson had long hair, and he was a womanizer. Rahab was a prostitute. Jeremiah and Timothy were too young. David was an adulterer and a murderer. Elijah was suicidal. Isaiah preached naked. Jonah ran from God. We know what happened to him. Naomi was a widow. Job went bankrupt. John the Baptist ate bugs. Peter denied Christ 3 times. The disciples fell asleep while praying. How often has that happened to almost all of us? Really exhausted at the end of the day, and boom, and sleep overtakes us. Martha worried about everything. The Samaritan woman was divorced more than once. It's the woman at the well. Zacchaeus was too small. Poor thing. I'm a little short myself. Paul was too religious. Timothy had an ulcer. Lazarus was dead. You can't top that one. God used all of these people. He used all of these people in such a positive way. Now, if you don't fit into one of those categories, well, first of all, be glad. But second of all, know that there is not a category that is too great for God to use for good. As a matter of fact, I poked myself in the eye with my glasses. Let me just tell you, getting old and having to use glasses to read and taking them off to see and putting them back on to read, it can be treacherous. I poke myself in the eye all the time. So our scripture for today is going to come out of 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. That is a great thing to think about, that we are who God needs. Me. I am one of the most imperfect people on the face of the earth, and God chose me and has led me and called me into the ministry. 1 Peter 4:10, each of you should use whatever gift you've received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace is in various forms. God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. That's a quote that I read this morning, and what a beautiful message that is. All you have to do is be available. And that's our thought for today.